Hello, my name is Ryan, and I'm going to be painting while talking about some stuff. So welcome to Brain Farts and Brushstrokes, or was it Brushstrokes and Brain Farts? I can't remember what I called it originally. Whatever, when we're painting and when we're talking, digesting some information that's bouncing around my brain, and fleshing out this painting that I've been living with for a while. It needs something, so I'm gonna hopefully not screw it up with some iridescent bronze rectangular things. I don't know. Should I do iridescent bronze? I don't know. Yeah. So I kind of want to talk about trauma, because I was watching this thing about Americans who have lived abroad and how they just realize like subtle little things where they're like, ooh, that's bad. Why did I react like that? Why am I in so much fear? You know? And yeah, that's one of those things that was really hard to come to terms with when going through therapy. And like really like rebuilding my perceptions and trying to have it all in a more positive light and see like what's going on, and then you just realize how comfortable American society operates on manipulation. Like every aspect. It's like that's just the way it is. You can't have solid consumer base. And it's weird, it's just the incentive structures. It's not necessarily any like conspiracy, I mean, I'm sure there's probably a few conspiracies afoot, but like the degree of which people give it credit, who knows? No? But one thing that's undeniable is how much fear and anxiety creates business opportunity. How much indulging in distraction from said chaos and monotony enables complacency. Yeah. It's funny. A friend of mine happens to be very religious, was complaining about how at work, they're really pushing the whole like do this just because we're asking you to do this, even though it doesn't really serve a purpose. I ended up just like, equating that to religion, because we were also having a religious conversation, so it wasn't like me going out of pocket, But it's that business mindset. The do this to support the institution, even though it doesn't necessarily benefit the greater good, it just benefits the institution. That kind of brings me to this fun factoid. I was curious, about all the tax exemption stuff with religious organizations. Because, there's so many things that they're, multimedia empires at this point with exceptional real estate holdings. So it's okay, how much tax revenue would be collected if they actually taxed religious organizations? It's around, what was it, $60 to $80 billion annually not collected. When you compare that to the estimates of how much it costs to house the homeless, which is around $19 billion. And then one of the issues with the housing the homeless project is you sit over there while we build your houses, but if you're collecting $80 billion annually, you can throw that all towards the homeless problem while being able to provide long-term housing while the or short-term housing while the long-term housing is being built. It's just funny. Because, I mean, the reality is everybody wants the government to give them all of the stuff that the church initially sprouted up and was doing, you know. As religious organizations, I have no beef with them other than like how man has perverted it for their own power structures and real estate ventures. But like the core beliefs of like almost all religions is pure. It's like we're all trying to explain something that we just cannot explain, you know? It's the thing that always escapes. And in doing that, you know, organized religion aspects and churches and stuff have developed all of the social services that us as human beings require. We need mental health services. We need to have a community to fall on when we're in our time of need. We need that. And yeah, I mean, they really want to bring that whole like church stuff back into government and have everybody comfortable with it. Tax those motherfuckers and hold them, like, make them do what they say they're going to do, you know? It's like, I only see that a lot of that money going towards expanding their footprint. And there's only a few organizations that I really like have a respect for, and it's a begrudging respect just because some of the people I know that are devout and go through it are genuinely some of the best people I know right now. Like, they'll sit there and actually have a middle ground discussion, and they won't try to convince you about anything. It's just like they respect your beliefs. They know that what they're adhering to maybe seem weird, but, you know, to each their own. You either get it or you don't, kind of thing. They're not there to preach it. It's a, you know, religious organizations is more of a gateway to spirituality, which should never be belittled. It's more of like seeing a lot of these religious organizations that preach a certain lifestyle and them just not adhering to it. You know? Anyway. Kind of felt bad. I could see that I ended up making my friend like take a step back and think, and he's like, and his response is like, yeah, we do that, don't we? I'm like, oh, I didn't mean to do that. Because when you plant those seeds, it's like, oh, sorry. But I don't know. I've kind of gotten comfortable with the fact that I cause a lot of introspection when I get engaged with conversation. Which is fun. I like seeing epiphanies. You know, when that light bulb goes off. Make a point that's like ends up driving home because like some other circumstance at play. Also, some of the things where you just go like, ooh, what a coincidence. I did not mean to say that in the context in which I just walked into without knowing. Oops. Anyway. I'm just gonna enjoy my Sunday. I'm grateful that I'm not sunburned thoroughly. Ended up going on a hike yesterday morning. It was so much fun. My friend, she's an interesting one. Holds an interesting place in my mind. It's always funny. Been trying to meet up since February. It is now August. And just text me out of the blue. Hey, let's get breakfast. Yes. Yes, and of course yes. Ended up not getting breakfast. Just went on like an hour and a half long hike. It's nice. It's rare to be able to have that much conversation with somebody about everything and nothing. And just kind of exhale. Right now, I'm currently procrastinating. I'm to a point working on my book where I'm just like, ugh. Kind of need an emotional break. You know, going through every single memory through the viewpoint of almost a decade of various therapies and rebuilding and whatnot. Oh, it's so taxing. So, kind of doing this to collect my thoughts a bit before I delve into some timeline clarifications. Because, like, I'm not a writer. I'm not. I love reference books. And I'm at this point where I realize that the extensive nature of my trauma and how much just throughout life and the degree of rebuilding and perspective that I've gotten to just should get documented. Even if just for my own peace, to have it all kind of makes sense. It's actually kind of nice. But since I'm not a writer, I'm utilizing a chatbot, which is actually like an anti-AI chatbot. It doesn't give me any answers. It's exceptional. I'm thoroughly loving it. Because it helps me like see patterns that I might be neglecting to see, and it's allowing me to even learn more, and also some of the connections. Like I'm recalling some of the like childhood stuff where it's like I remember the first bit of trauma, and it's my mom being exceptionally catatonic, and that's frightening. It's like trying to talk to your mom and she's just not responding, not capable of responding. And for the longest time I thought it was because of drugs. But in recounting it all, and also recounting like all my experiences with people dying throughout the years, I realized like, oh no, that's probably the day she found out that my cousin committed suicide. And that brought some more peace, you know? Like being able to understand why somebody is acting in a way that's not normal. Oh, really helps bring some peace to traumatic memories. But at the same time, I'm at a point where it's just like, man, I think I need to take a minute, rebuild that cup before I dig back in, or like try to focus in on more of the positive stuff. Because it also brings up an ethical thing. Like, how do you utilize an AI chatbot to write a book? Like, my justification is I'm not a writer. I'm not technically writing a book. I'm creating a reference guide of my trauma. And it will end up in book form so it can be read aloud. So people like me who find it difficult to focus, due to various perception issues, i.e. like dyslexia and whatnot. Because it's a side effect of the trauma to an extent. It's weird how that whole nature-nurture overlap plays out with genetics. If you're wondering, like, what's he talking about? Look into gene theory. It's fascinating stuff. And I've proven it to myself. It's just identifying what triggers those genes to pop on or turn off. Whether it's, It's like trusting that the brain is far more powerful. Thought is far more powerful. And one of the best things for that is sit down and meditate 5 minutes a day and breathe into one body part. And notice a difference. Actively just like think into it, breathe into it. You'll notice the change. It starts oxygenating that one area because you're doing it with intention. It's a beautiful thing. I feel that in America, there's so much industry around self-help, self-care, medications, etc. Like, it's almost like a byproduct to brainwash people out of believing in themselves and that they're actually capable of handling a lot of their problems through more of a middle ground approach. Because I know that I wouldn't be here without modern medications. Or at least my life would be a lot freaking worse. Like, oh my goodness, anti-inflammatories are a wonderful thing while trying to figure out a better diet to increase the degree of inflammation that you're experiencing. But even diet alone for some of my injuries, that doesn't work. I realize if I stop taking the anti-inflammatory that I'm currently taking for more than 3 days, my foot balloons up. It sucks. Requires a big old injection. Just calm it down, because it's just a nerve firing in a weird way. I got a pinch nerve on the outer foot that is constantly inflamed. And it sucks because like, you can't get it removed. I've already had one nerve removed from the foot. All I can really do is have them inject it with, I want to say it's like ethanol? I don't know. Because it's not steroids anymore. It's just like, I want to stress that mofo out. Try to kill off that thing to some degree. And that seems to help. Let's go here. Yeah. It's just been a weird week overall. Like, I can't believe I just did a 2-hour hike almost, like, and it's like nothing. Where like most of this year has been spent barely being able to move around. It's so funny how like sometimes things just are funny. Context. I fell back in February, jammed my back really bad, and it caused all sorts of nerve issues. Like, I could barely drive, I couldn't really go to the grocery store anymore. Super annoying. causing a lot of nonsense, incurring a decent amount of debt because of it. Because, I mean, survival kind of sucks right now. But at the same time, exceptionally grateful because, it's so needed to just chill and reflect. Not have to worry about anything. Because at the end of the day, it's like, oh, well, lack of money. I mean, it's actually interesting. It's like the amount of things that get used to using and doing that are just unnecessary. And don't get me wrong, I'm definitely like restructuring my viewpoint of money. I'm exceptionally grateful for its existence in our society, I guess. But I'm grateful for when it's here. But I don't really let it stress me out when it's not. Because, like, I don't know. I'm at a point where stress is kind of enjoyable. Like this last time around, this last month, tight. So I've just been straight up rice and beans. And enjoying the weight loss. Because the weight loss in turn helped my back a lot. Yeah. You know, everything has a silver lining. Because that, and then also cutting out all those freaking sparkling waters and getting rid of Diet Coke from my diet. Love it. Because I was realizing that there's something about Diet Coke. It's got some nasty addictive qualities. That's closer to nicotine than any other soda. Because I used to drink the Pepsi Max, the black can. Because it used to have like 69 milligrams of caffeine in it. That thing was nice. But they improved the formula. Knocked it down to like 30 something. Can't do that. Can't take the thing out that's actually causing addiction. It's like, then it's just you're pinching the bag, man. But I also have, it's more of a Diet Coke and coffee habit. My morning coffee, it's like half that giant mug coffee mixed with a Diet Coke, and it is actually a wonderful combination. I don't recommend doing it though, because it's clearly kind of addictive. But easy to break. It just took like 3 or 4 days and done. What else is popping around my brain case? It's funny. Perception. And like people being more intuitive, misinterpreting it as clairvoyance. I had an incident yesterday where somebody was describing a scenario, and I instantly thought of somebody. I had a face in my appear, and I was like, "Are you talking about this person?" And she's like, "No, but funny you should say that. They have a very similar story." And I sat back and like deciphered it. It's like the reason why that person popped in my head is because as she was talking there, I was like, okay, like very quick. Like I can't even describe it in the time, but it's I could sit back and analyze like why did that face get generated? Because everything I know about her, that person, context, like everything that I can see as far as how they carry themselves, because I don't know this person. You know, it's weird how like little behavioral traits stand out, and it's easy to misinterpret that as like I'm just naturally good at reading people. It's like you are exceptionally hypervigilant, and your brain is so much quicker than you give it credit. And I feel like there's only like a handful of true archetypes when it comes to human beings. And they always tend to attract similar scenarios enough to make clairvoyant people seem more valid. I don't know. I personally enjoy it. There's a few creators that I follow that's just like, yep, we are on the same wavelength. But as far as like, this message is meant for me, no. It's a message to a collective of people who are in like-minded scenarios, because we all end up crafting realities that are very similar. And as soon as somebody starts talking about it in a more vague way, it's going to resonate. And I appreciate that, because it's just like a notification from the almighty algorithm that, yeah, there are people going through similar scenarios. And sometimes you can actually find a creator who's more on your thought process, and it feels really creepy. I was watching Jadina this morning, and whew, it's nice to know that there's a certain amount of people in the world going through the same, like, interesting situations. And how that message applies to current events in my life that nobody currently knows about yet. I mean, everybody knows about it, I guess. Who knows? I don't really know anymore, to be honest. In fact, I'm realizing more and more that I must have had a really poor opinion of myself. Because once I have a positive opinion of myself and really enjoyed everything, all the negative, all the guilt, all the shame, like, I don't know, I got put back into the world and was like, ooh, really? I lived so long thinking you were better than me. That's weird. Same time, causes a weird ego check, because I don't like thinking that way. Because nobody's better than anyone. Everybody has their own unique reality. Doop, 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 doop. I didn't bring any water. Oh well. Where to put this? Oh, getting there. Have to tighten it up eventually. I don't know, I'm not quite there to embrace painting again. That painting cup requires a decent amount of fill. And honestly, I kind of don't really want it to be filled. It usually comes out of like a lot of distress, you know? Having to process complex scenarios, which honestly, that's going to be coming up. I already know it's coming up. I'm going to have to engage with people that I have to, like, I genuinely feel I need to apologize to. Don't really have any specifics on why. It's just more of like a, ooh, yeah. Plus, last time I interacted with those people, it's like, yeah, I was not necessarily in the best place. So, repair is always a good thing. It's going to be fun. Anyway, I'm going to go wash my brush off before it solidifies. You all have a good day.